Why don't you trade options?
Can you pull up the that chart I emailed over to you? All right, so this was actually from someone who was looking to teach people how to trade. I spoke to this individual yesterday. He was trying to teach people how to trade options, yet he was telling me he was buying stocks, and he sent me a screenshot showing me the calls he bought. And this is like a prime example of why we avoid options. And a few factors. One, majority of options expire worthless. There's this, you can see, you look up the stats, about 90% of options will expire worthless at expiration. So people go into options looking to hold till expiration or even trade them. They don't understand the things that are going on behind the scenes with these complicated financial products that Shake and myself couldn't even explain if we tried. But in this example, this individual bought 2 calls in Ford, expecting to go to $15 in the next year, and then KMI, expecting to go to $15 again by the next year. Both these stocks, again, we avoid these cheap stocks, especially with options. You need volatility, you need stocks to move. If they were to trade options in Tesla, they'd be way more better off than trading in a slow mover like Ford that's going to move 10 cents a day, which compounds this issue where this person is investing or gambling $800 in these 2 calls. A year from now, they both will be worthless. Again, KMI has been a stock that's been dead for almost a decade, and Ford has been the same thing. It's been a $5, $10 stock for the last 10 years, if not longer. So this individual is expecting these 2 companies that have been basically dead or non-existent for the last decade to miraculously come back to life in the next year because they bought it. Now, in a year, this $700 will be gone. Had they just bought the stock themselves, if they just bought Ford and it went to 15, like they think it's going to, with that same $300, they would have made $60 or 25%. Where with this call, if it goes to 13, drops to 10, and then a year from now gets to 15, the pricing of this option is going to be all out of whack. So even if the stock gets to the price you think it's going to get to, when the stock is moving up and down until it gets to that point, that's where these options, they just decay. The price just continues to come down. And over me and Shake's career, I can't think of one successful option trader, but we get endless and endless and endless DMs of these guys who lose 100% in the first year with big sums of money. Guys starting with 20 grand, a year later they got 1,000. Guys starting with 100, with 2,000, because these things are designed to go to zero. And if you can't simply trade one share of Ford and buy it at 13 and sell it at 15 and make $2, if you can't do that, but you're expecting to buy a complicated contract that's leveraging a small amount of money, it's just, you're fighting an uphill battle. This is why we don't allow anyone to trade options. If we find anyone who is trading options in Trading Experts, the membership is canceled. We don't allow it. It's just, we've seen too much destruction relative to the people that actually make money. And it's just way easier to avoid it and kind of start with the simple stuff, just like buying the share of Ford, even though we wouldn't buy it anyways, over buying the call that will expire worthless in January 2022. So again, we avoid it. We just typically see a lot of new traders that run to it and just blow up their accounts as quickly as humanly possible once those things expire.